This
you, if you have
conference
to
will now
review
be recorded.
and somebody didn't attend it today, it will be useful for them as well. Okay, I've just started recording the session. Okay, so I hope more people will be joining. That's what my intention is. I know it's Sunday evening, the motivation will be very less. Okay, but it's a good sessions, guys. It will be helpful for you. Okay, yeah. So manage your environment. We will do this later, guys. Okay. So let's go ahead and see what is how to plan and run your test. So last day, I mean yesterday, not yesterday, a couple of sessions days back, we have taken the session, and on that day we were talking about how to create the scenario and all that. So authenticate. Okay. So log in. Okay, so we were talking about how to create the scenario and all that. Okay, so let me go ahead and have a quick recap. Okay, I know it's been 2 days and some of you might have forgot few things. Okay, so for the same reason. Okay, uh, okay, for the same reason, I would like to have a quick recap as to what we have done. So mostly we have spent the time on the test management. Okay, so we have created a folder. Okay, and then in that folder, in this subject, in the main folder, okay, we have created one folder specifically for all the scripts. This particular folder is for release 1 for 2023, and this is the naming convention I've used. You can use whatever the naming convention you wanted, and this folder is mainly for the scripts, and I've uploaded multiple scripts. I've shown you how to upload the scripts. Okay, one question I have: do before uploading the scripts, do I have to do something before uploading the scripts? Am I supposed to do something before uploading the scripts? There are 15 people in the class. I want everybody to be very active. Okay, so before uploading the scripts into my LRE, am I supposed to do something, or just I'll say upload the scripts and the uploading happens? Somebody can unmute themselves if if they wanted to unmute and speak. I'm comfortable. Wonderful, Krishna. You have to zip. Have you start sharing the screen? Yes, I'm sharing the screen. Are you able to see the screen, guys? Yeah. Yeah, Dinesh, are you able to see the screen? Because I am sharing the screen. Yes. Okay. Wonderful, Krishna. You are supposed to zip it. Thank you. So you are supposed to zip it before you upload it, okay? Because Vugen script is not one single file, it is the folder, okay? And you want the whole folder to be uploaded, okay? Once the script is uploaded, okay, can I make some changes to the script? Can I edit the script and make some changes to the script?
Yes, sir.
Wonderful. You can be able to change the script. Sorry, you will be able to edit the scripts, but typically only minor small editing will be done from here. But if you want some major changes, ideally you go back to your Vision script, make the changes, run for a couple of iterations, then you upload the next version onto your LRE. Okay, let's say this particular project. Okay, so the project name is batch 1. Okay, so the project name is batch 1. Okay, now Prakash has uploaded the script. Can Neetu download the script if she has access to this batch 1 project in this LRA? Okay, Neetu has logged in with her username and password. Let's assume she has access to this batch 1, and Prakash has uploaded this script called book flight server. Can Neetu download that script? Is it possible? Yes, it is possible. Okay, that's what. Okay, that's what makes it wonderful. That's what the LRE is for. Okay, somebody has uploaded it from your team. Somebody can download it as long as they have access to that particular project. Okay, so similarly, I've created a folder for my test scenarios as well. Okay, and I have started creating my first test scenario. Okay, again I will do this. Okay, I'll do this. Okay, right from the scratch. Okay, you can create the test scenario from here. You say new test, or from here new test. I would like to do it from here. I'm comfortable from here. Okay, first click on the folder that you want to create the new test, then click on the new test, and it has multiple options. We will discuss about these options. Okay, by test. Okay, basic world. by test, real world by test, basic by group, real world by group. Again, these are very important interview questions. Okay, so please pay attention here. Okay, so let me create a load test again. Okay, load test. Okay, for the release 2023 and release 1. Okay, release 1, this particular load test 2023. Okay, 2023 release 1. Okay, and I'm creating this test on 30th July. Again, these are the naming convention I follow. Okay, if you don't like the naming convention, definitely you can follow your own naming conventions. Okay, so assigned test set is not mandatory, but I have said it is good. Okay, you create, you assign a test set for every single test. Okay, if it is not there, then you can go to edit test and create your own. Okay, create your own new folder. Okay, or in a folder which is there, you create a new test set. You create a new test set. I'll create a new test set to 30th July. 30th July. Okay, and this is for load test. Okay, this is for load test. So please mute yourself. Somebody seems to be unmuted. Please mute yourself. Okay, but if you have a questions, yeah, please go ahead and unmute and speak. I'm more than happy. Okay, but for now, mute yourself. Okay. Um, okay, so wonderful. So first, most of the performance testers by default they go with a basic schedule, and that too by test, not by group. At the later point of time, I'll tell you what is the difference between by test and by group. But for now, we'll go with by test and by number. Again, I'll tell you what is the difference between by number and by percentage. But for now, let me go with the standard test scenario, which most of the probably 90 to 95% of the performance testers use, which is basic schedule by test by number. I would like to go with that only. But once we have created a complete test scenario, okay, then we will come and explore all this, and maybe tomorrow we will go ahead and execute a test as well. But for now, we'll try to understand maximum options that we have. Okay, so we'll go click on OK. And most of the people who have done controller, this looks more or less like that, like your controller, absolutely like your controller. Probably 5% 10% it is different. Okay, but it is more or less like your computer. Right now the validation is failed. In the last class I've told you how to make the validation pass. Okay, but today's class also will repeat this. And here at this point of time you wanted to change, again you can go ahead and change this. Okay, you can go ahead and change this. Okay, so okay, you can go ahead and change to whatever you want. Okay, you can go ahead and change to whatever you want, but again I'll go with by test and by number so that you don't get confused. Okay, hang on, these notifications are confusing, guys, so let me close these notifications. Okay, so that is disturbing for us. Okay, so come on, what happened? You can change the type to number mode when the user group percentages sum to 100%. Okay, so at the later point of time maybe it will allow. Okay, so for now it is not allowing, it is making me go with go with my test only. Okay, now it should allow, right? Okay, so later point of time we'll go ahead and change the numbers. That's not a big deal. Okay, we can go ahead. Right now it says 0%. That is the problem. You change it to 100%, then it will allow us to change to by number. Okay, but that's not an issue. At the later point of time, I'll show you how to change it back to the numbers. Change it back to the numbers. Okay, there are 21 members. Wonderful. Okay, right now you have total 0 users. At the later point of time, once I start adding the scripts and all that, this number will change. Right now 0 numbers, 0 groups, but I've told you the significance of multiple groups. Okay, I've played around with that as well, but for now it is 0, and later on I'll change all this. Okay, first we'll start adding the groups. We'll start adding the groups. Okay, I'll start adding the scripts. That's what is the group. Okay, I'll add maybe 4 scripts. Okay, okay, so I'll say add and close. You can just say add, then later on close, or you can say add and close. So I'll just say add and close. Now 4 different groups are created. How many groups are created? 4 different groups. How many virtual users are there? 4 virtual users. Why? Because each group has 1 virtual user. Okay, how much percentage is it now? 4%. Okay, okay, now I will say 50 users. Okay, Automatically it is supposed to assign, but not an issue. Okay, so let me start changing this to 10 users. Double click on it. Okay, 10 users. So hang on guys, number of virtual users. Oh, the percentage wise it is saying. Okay, the percentage wise it is showing. So this is 10%, 10%, 10%. Rather than 10%, I will say this as 20%. Okay, so this has 20%. Okay, this is percentage guys, and it's not number of virtual users. It is 20%. Okay, this is 20%, and this is 20%. Okay, so overall virtual users I have given it as 8. Okay, so 20% of 8 will be, okay, so 20%, it has to be 25, 25, sorry. So let me make this as 40%. Okay, so 40% of 8 will be for 8, whatever the percentage it is, you can do it. Let's say overall you have put 50 users. Okay, so 50 of 40% of 50 will be 4 5 20. So 20 users will be for this, then 10 users for this, 10 users for this, 10 users for this. You can basically break it down like that. Okay, now this percentage is 100. Let me go back to this number. Okay, it will allow. So let me change this to numbers. Okay, later on I'll talk about the percentages guys, it will be confusing, but for now focus on the numbers. So this now it is no longer percentage, it is numbers. So we are running the test with 50 users. Out of this, the first group has 20 users, the second group has 10 users, the third group has 10 users, the fourth group has 10 users. So overall 50 users. You can definitely change to number of users, whatever the number of users you want. You can play around and change. You can play around and change. Okay, that is a possibility. That is possible. Okay, now assign the load generators. Okay, you can assign the load generators from here, or you can assign the LGs from here. Okay, however you wanted to do it, however you are comfortable, you can do it. I would like to do it from here. Okay, so all we have is one LG for the setup. So I've selected all the groups and assigned that particular LG. Okay, or you want it to only for one group wise you wanted to select. Let's say you have 3 to 4 LGs. For group 1 you want LG1, so select the group, select the LG, and say apply assignment. And the group 2, okay, you have some other LG, so you can say okay, this group 2 and blah blah blah. Okay, so like this you can select and assign the group whichever you want. Okay, again I'm showing it to you guys. Okay, so okay, so group 1 you have LG1, you say apply assignment, and group 2, okay, and you have some other LG for example. Okay, then you can assign that particular LG and apply assignment. Similarly for group 3 and group 4. Okay, can you can assign the LGs. Okay, selecting all the groups, or you can select, okay, you can select one group and one LG, or you can select multiple groups and assign it to an LG. Okay, so far you've this is what we have discussed yesterday. Okay, any questions so far guys? Any questions so far? Okay, still the validation is failed. I'll tell you how to make the validation passed, but hold on for that. Okay, so before I do that, okay, so any questions guys? Any questions so far? Okay, let me go to the chat window. No. Okay, Raghu and Krishna has been active. Thank you Raghu and Krishna. Okay. Okay, sorry, what is happening? Okay, so now validation is still not there. You can check why something is not there. Okay, so why some issues are there. Okay, now go ahead and select the controller. Okay, so I've selected the controller and clicked on OK. Okay, now controller is there, groups have been there, LGs are assigned, everything seems to be good. Now go ahead and save the test. Now look at the validation is passed. Okay, now you can actually run the test. Okay, before running the test, we'll go ahead and explore the other options. We'll go ahead and explore the other options. Right now we have explored the basic with the test. Okay, basic schedule by test. Okay, basic schedule by test. Okay, now we will explore the other options as well. Okay, the other options as well. Okay, so let me create another test scenario. Okay, another test scenario. This time around, uh, oh, I haven't added the ramp up, ramp down, and that's okay. Hang on, guys. Hang on. Okay, let me quickly, give some name. Okay, mock one. Okay, so number. Okay, just quickly, let me show you how to, assign the ramp up, ramp down, and all that. Okay, so okay, first I have to add the groups to show you how to, you know, um, um, how to design the ramp up, ramp down, and okay, all that. So let me this is a basic schedule. Basic schedule, usually you initialize all the users before it runs. Then usually don't have all the users stand up. Again, I'm telling you, this course is only for somebody who has learned LoadRunner or worked on LoadRunner. So if you're totally new to LoadRunner or performance testing, this will be little difficult. Okay, so you don't have all the virtual users start at once. Okay, you don't have all the virtual, and let me all the virtual users start at once. You usually have a ramp up. Okay, then you say all virtual users gradually, and typically by default LoadRunner suggests one user for every 15 seconds. You can leave it like that. You can leave it like that. Okay, so I used to do it like 5 users for every 30 seconds. There is no standards. Okay, there is no standards. I would like to go with the same standard that LoadRunner is following, which is one user for every 15 seconds, or you can say 5 users for every 30 seconds. I used to go with this particular thing. Okay, I used to go with this particular thing, 30 seconds. Okay, 5 users for every 30 seconds, but I have only 4 users, so it is saying 4 users. Okay, so any questions so far, guys? Any questions? Why 4 users for 30 seconds or one user for 15 seconds? You have any questions on that print?
Oh, yeah, sir. Actually, there is any standard formula for ramp up of user?
There is no standard formula, guys. Okay, as I've said, the load runner suggests one user for every 15 seconds. You can go with it, or in my project I usually say 5 users for every 30 seconds. You can go with this one. Okay, but in the interviews they will ask you, when would you know that the ramp up is good? Okay, how would you know that the ramp up is good? So this answer is only for somebody who has done or learned performance testing, guys. Okay, so typically what happens is, okay, let's say this is your response times. This is your response times graph. Okay, this is your response times graph. Okay, initially during the ramp up time, okay, during the ramp up time, the response times are high. Okay, the response times are high. Okay, the response times are high, but later on, okay, the response times are high. Okay, but later on, okay, the response time seems to have settled down. Okay, this is your ramp up time. Let's say this is your ramp up time. Okay, let's say this is your uh, first 1 minute. Let's say this is your first 1 minute. This is your first 1 minute. Okay, um, this is your okay, this is, come on. Okay, hang on 1 second. Kind of settle down. Okay, so this is your first 1 minute. Okay, this is your first 1 minute. Okay, the first 1 minute is your ramp up time. Okay, 1 minute is your ramp up time, and later on the test usually runs for 1 hour. So this is your 1 hour. So in that 1 minute, during the ramp up period, the response times are high, but later on they settle down and kind of become normal. Okay, this is a very good indication that you have ramped up aggressively. Okay, you have ramped up aggressively. If you have not ramped up aggressively, then the response times would be more or less, let me take another color. Okay, so would be more or less like this, more or less like this. Okay, but since during the ramp up period the response times are high, which means that you have ramped up aggressively, in that case what you have to do, you have to run another test, and probably you can say 2 users for every 30 seconds is what you can give. Okay, this is a standard interview question. This is what you can say, what is your ramp up? Okay, you can say that I went with the standard ramp up, or in my project we went with, all the projects use five users for every 30 seconds, and I went with the same thing. But But what we need to keep an eye on is the response times. So during the ramp up period, the response times are high. This is a good indication that you have ramped up aggressively. So you have to ramp down, you have to ramp up. So we have to rerun the test, and we have decreased the number of users. So then we went to 2 users for every 30 seconds. Okay. So whoever has asked the question, have I answered the question?
Yeah, sir. So, shall we exclude that ramp up duration while comparing the result of both tests, like baseline and benchmark?
You can do that. Okay, most of the people do that, but still I would suggest, okay, you have aggressively ramped up, the users might not be behaving correctly, so people spend a lot of money for performance testing. I would always suggest that you ramp up little less aggressively and run another test, and then you can filter out the results for that 1 hour, removing the ramp up and ramp down. Okay, that's what my suggestion, and that's what a lot of people would do that as well. Are you okay with the answer?
Yeah, yeah, okay, yeah, fine. So, actually,
Okay.
what is the purpose of this ramp up actually?
You're going to the
The,
basics. Have you done performance testing
yeah,
before?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That's why because in my test, right, first 20, 15 minutes, I'm not getting the proper result. So that's why I'm asking again and again. So,
You are
so in
aggressively
that case,
you are aggressively
yeah,
ramping
yeah,
up.
correct. Yeah,
Decrease the
correct.
number of
So,
users.
yeah,
What is
correct.
the purpose of ramp up? What happens is, I have to explain this in detail. I'm deviating this a little bit, guys. So people who don't understand this don't get overwhelmed. Okay, this is not necessary for you to understand. But somebody asked the question, I cannot ignore it. I have to take the question. I am taking it. Okay. So where are these virtual users coming from? And first, what is your name, please? Whoever is asking the question.
Sinu,
Sinu, is it? Vinod.
Sinu.
Sinu. Where are your virtual users coming from, Sinu?
Sorry, I'm not getting. Where I mean, in what? Sorry.
Which component of LoadRunner gives the virtual users?
Load generator.
LG. Okay. LG is a machine, right? A simple machine. Okay. Your Windows machine. Okay. And it has a software called LG. Okay. LG is a software which is created by Micro Focus. So you take a Windows machine, Windows 7 or Windows 8 or Unix machine, install this software called LG software. Then this machine becomes an LG. Okay. Then this is the one which will be giving the virtual users. Okay. It will give you n number of virtual users. Now, okay, let me go back and we say we have to run the test with 1,000 users, and you didn't give any ramp up, which means that all the 1,000 users needs to start in immediately. Okay, so now this LG has to create 1,000 users in 0 seconds, or literally with no time it has to create all the virtual users. Do you suggest that to happen on your LG? LG is a
No,
software,
no.
okay, which will give the virtual users. Okay, suddenly you are asking 1,000 users to be given by the LG. Okay, it might give. Okay, but when so much pressure or so much load not on the application. Okay, these virtual users will go and create the load on the application. Okay, this is your AUT. Okay, I'm not talking about the load on your AUT, I'm talking on the load on the LG itself. Okay, so suddenly you are asking 1,000 users to be given out by the LG. This might go crazy. Okay, it has certain CPU, it has certain RAM, it has certain working capability. Okay, it might work, it might not work, or the LG program itself might hang up, and all sorts of things will happen. So you have to slowly ramp up. That is the first thing. The second thing is, all the in the real world. Okay, let's say this is your IRCT application. Okay, this is your IRCT application, IRCTC. Okay, in an IRCTC application, let's say you have started the test at 9 a.m. Okay, you have started the test in the morning at 9 a.m. Okay, 9 a.m. IST. Okay, and then you have all the 1,000 users start at once, and all these 1,000 users will apply the load on this IRCTC application. Do you agree with me, Sinu? Sinu?
No, sir. No. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
No, that's what will happen, right? All the 1,000 users this
Yeah.
is generating, all the 1,000 users will start running the scripts, and when they're running the script, basically you're applying the load on this IRCTC, right? Okay. Now let's notice what is happening in this IRCTC application. Okay. So before 9 a.m. absolutely there is no load, because this is a performance testing environment. Nobody is using this environment except you. So before 9 a.m. absolutely no load on it. Suddenly at 9 a.m. you have a peak load. Okay, do you think this application, I mean sudden jerk on the application, do you think you suggest that, especially when you're doing the performance testing?
No, sir. No, I
See,
won't suggest. Yeah.
in the real world, will that ever happen where there is no load at all, no bookings happening, suddenly at 9 p.m. you have peak load? In the real world, in the real the IRCT, in the
No, no,
production
it is
environment, do you
not
think
possible.
ever it will happen? It will never happen. Okay,
Yeah,
there is always
yeah.
some load. Okay, any point of time you look at it, there will always be load. But this is just your performance testing environment, and this is your performance testing. Suddenly you're applying the load, which will never happen in the real world. You don't know what will happen with the real time application as well. And do understand, Sinu, that lot of money goes into purchasing, okay, purchasing these tools, okay, creating the environment, creating this PT environment, okay, and and paying money, paying money to Infosys, Wipro, or whatever it is, okay, who is doing this performance testing. When a lot of money is being sent, is being spent for this, you have to do a test, you know where the results, that the test outcome results is as close to the real world as possible. And when you wanted to do that, you really don't want it to take these chances of suddenly creating all the load, which will create unnecessary load on the unnecessary pressure on the LGs, and you're creating a scenario which will never happen in the real world. Okay, in the real world there is no load before, and suddenly there is a peak load. That will never happen. So you slowly ramp up so that the pressure is less on this, pressure is less on this, and then you reach to the peak load of that 1,000 users. And then however you're filtering out, or you're filtering out your ramp up and ramp down, and you're filtering in only those steady state. So go ahead and do this ramp up ramp down. What is wrong? Okay, so you're by doing this, by adding this ramp up and ramp down, you're taking this environment, the performance testing environment, simulation, as close to the real world as possible. Do you agree with me, Sino?
Yeah, correct, sir. Now I understand. Yeah,
Understand? Okay, do understand that
yeah.
maybe 50-60 lakhs maybe goes into purchasing the tool, creating the environment, 10-15 lakhs, and giving the money to you, not to you as in Infosys, Wipro, or wherever they're outsourcing. A lot of money goes into it, and you don't want it to take the chances. You wanted to take your performance testing scenario as close to the real world, or in other words, you simulate your performance testing should simulate as close to the real world as possible. Okay, the simulation should be as close to the real world as possible. Okay, so you start is the ramp up, two users for every 30 seconds. Okay, again, I'm not spending too much time on what is ramp up and what is ramp down and what is steady state. I'm assuming that you know it. Okay, so I'm assuming that you know it. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so you have a steady state. Okay, run indefinitely, nobody uses it. I don't know why they have added that. So run for, let's say, okay, 1 hour. Usually performance test goes for how many hours, guys? Usually, okay, in your companies, most of the people might be working. Can somebody unmute themselves and tell me a load test, how long you are running it in your companies? Guys, please speak up. I'm sure most of you might be working it, or at least 21 people are running. Okay, so Raghu says in his company 2 hours. Okay, Madhuri says 2.15, and most of the people said 1 hour. Usually I used to run it for 1 hour, so I'll say 1 hour. Okay, this is days, this is 1 hour. Okay, so steady state is 1 hour. Okay, then you can simultaneously stop, or people suggest gradually. So I will say four and aggressive. You can aggressively ramp down, guys. Ramp up, you have to be careful because those will affect your response times. But ramp down, it doesn't matter. You can aggressively ramp down. Okay, I'll say 4 users for every 15 seconds. Again, there is standards. 5 users for every 15 seconds. This is 5 users for every 30 seconds. These are the standards that I use. Okay, let me increase the users here. Okay, let me say 5, so that at least I will have 5 users. I double click and put 5. Okay, so that I have 5 users. So 5 users for every version. Okay, so that's how I'll ramp up. Okay, now so this is what a okay this is what a basic schedule by test looks like. Okay, so you have a standard ramp up, steady state and ramp down. Standard ramp up, steady state and ramp down. Ramp up is slow, ramp down is aggressive. You can clearly see from your picture as well. Okay, clearly see from this picture as well. Okay, wonderful. Okay, now now, any questions, guys? Any questions? Any questions? Okay, before I start exploring by group. Okay, any questions? I will not run this test yet. Let me explore all the four options. Then I'll go ahead and show you how to run a test and all that. Okay, but any questions so far? Don't hesitate, guys. I want everybody to be active. Sunday is not just for you, Sunday is for me as well. Okay, I've spoiled my Sunday only so that I'll be able to share the knowledge. Okay, and yesterday I really wanted to take the class, but few people you know vehemently said no, so I had to take the Sunday. Had I took the class on Friday, I wouldn't have taken the classes on Saturday and Sunday. I don't want a 3-day gap because a lot of people will lose the interest. So I'm taking the class, so please be active. At least I need to know how many are listening to my class, since I've spoiled my Sunday and coming here, which means that I'm really passionate about it, and I really want you to participate. Okay, so I want all the 20 people to be active. Okay, all the 20 people to be active. User can add in between the test. Is it possible? Shakir, okay, wonderful question. Shakir has added a wonderful question. Can we add the users as the test is running? What do you say, guys? The test is running now. I wanted to add the users. Is it possible? Yes, absolutely yes, Shakir. It is absolutely yes. Why is the first question? Okay, why would you want to add the users while the test is running? Okay, that is the main question. Is it possible? Yes, I will show it to you, while running the test. Okay, how to add the users. Okay, or if somebody suggests me to run the test quickly and then add the users while showcase it, okay, I'll do it as well. But the question is, why would you want to add it while the test is in the middle of a test? Okay, can somebody answer that question, or anybody has done that in your projects? While the test is going on, you have run the test. While the test is going on, stress test, you plan it upfront, Krishna. Why would you want to plan it in the middle, right? You design the scenario in the way the stress test should run, and then you run the stress test. While the load test is running, you don't decide that, okay, now I will convert the load test to stress test and start adding the users. Nobody would do that. Okay, stress test, they design it from the scratch. Wonderful, Madhuri. While you're running the test, some of the users will stop because they errored out, or some all sorts of things happen, and whatever the users have been errored out, I wanted to add them back, because you're supposed to run the load test with 100 users. Let's say 5 users have errored out and they have stopped. Okay, because of various reasons. Why they would stop? 100 reasons are there why they would stop. Okay, so you go back and add it. That's what it is. Okay, Shakir, have I answered that question, Shakir? Brother, you have to unmute. You have asked the question, I've answered it. Now you have to unmute and then at least tell me that you are satisfied with the question.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Wonderful. Wonderful, Shakir. Thank you. Thank you so much. That's absolutely right. Again, these few things that I'm doing right now, ignore it. Okay. I'll quickly run the test and I'll quickly show you how to add it in between. But this is not my demonstration of actually showing how to run the test. Okay. But this is my demonstration of how to add the users in between. Okay. Because I might forget it at the later point of time, Shakir. That's why I'm doing it. But quickly I'm doing it. Quickly I'm running the test. Okay, but the intention, okay, but the intention is not to showcase. Intention is not to showcase how to execute the test, but the intention of whatever I'm doing right now, it is only to show you how to add the users in between. Okay, I'll quickly do that. Okay, first let me make this as pass. Okay, still there is an issue, validation. Okay, controller I have to add. Okay, okay, save the test. Okay, now it is okay. Now the run button will be enabled. All this while you see run button is not enabled because there were some issues and the validation was failed. Now I have added the controller, I have added the LGs, and then I've checked this one. Everything seems to be good. Okay, there is some recommendation. It is saying right now, okay, controller and load runner is the same machine. As I've told you, right? Okay, because of the limitations of the server, same machine I've used as a controller and load generator. In the real world, controller is one machine, load generator is another machine. So you will not see this recommendation. Okay, but you can ignore that recommendation. Right now, I'll go ahead and run the test, but some of the scripts will fail. Ignore that. Why? Because the scripts, I'll tell you why that will fail that as well. But the intention is not to pass the scripts, but intention is only to, okay, only to showcase how to you know okay, I'll show you all this. Don't worry about this time slot and all that. Don't worry about all that. Okay. And don't worry about what is happening here. Okay. Again, we'll go ahead and understand each and every step very carefully. But for now, the only intention of mine is to showcase how to add the users while the test is running. While the test is running, there will be some prerequisites happening like initiating the run, assigning the controller, retrieving the scripts, and assigning the LGs. It doesn't usually take this much time. There could be some problem with not a problem, but internet could be slow and all that. Now you see the whole processing, all the check marks have happened, the whole processing has done. Okay. Now again, I'm showing you how to add the users in between. Okay, I'm not showcasing how to actually run the test, which we will do it at the later point of time. Just to get to this point, I will probably explain 30 minutes. But right now go back and see how to add the test in between. Okay, how to add the virtual users in between. You see, Shakir, there is something called groups. Go to the groups. Shakir, please unmute yourself, brother. I'm showing it to you. Okay, Shakir,
Yes, sir.
please
Yes,
unmute yourself. Okay, so group, you see groups here. Okay, so
yes, sir.
this is your, if you have seen the controller, this is the same kind of dashboard you have. You see, you come to here, this is the dashboard. Here, go to groups. Here your standard graphs will appear. Again, this is a web version, it will take a lot of time. If it's a controller, quickly all this appear, but ignore that. We will cover all this later. Okay, go to groups, not groups, keep it here. Okay, click on this v users. You see v users detail. Click on this v users detail. Okay, it is taking a little time to load. Okay, now oh, not here. Okay, sorry. Okay, run v users. Okay, run v users. Okay, now now you see, brother. Okay, click on this button by group. Okay, hang on. Okay, sorry, no need to do that. Okay, now you see, for this particular I have 4 groups. For the first group, I wanted to add 5 users. Okay, I wanted to add 5 users. Okay, so Shakir, you're seeing it, right? For the first group, I have plugged in the number 5. Okay, first we will observe, first you notice that with how many users I'm running the test. How many users? Actually, I'm running the test with 4 users. 4 users or maybe more. Hang on 1 second. Okay, yeah, how many
Yeah,
users are there? Okay, let me
yeah,
go
it
back
is.
to the scenario. 8 users. Okay, 4 groups are there, 8 users. Okay, so okay, so this is the running one, right? Okay, this is my run ID. So I'm running the test with 8 users. Now let me add 5 users. So now you have to decide those 5 users. You add it to group 1, group 2, group 3, group 4. Okay, I wanted to add it for that group 1. Okay, 5 users. Okay, so what you are saying? Okay, add new users to the down state. New users to the down state. Okay, so what is the down state? What is the down state, Shakir? Okay, so hang on 1 second. Mm, okay, down state. Okay, you see, this is the down state. Shakir, you have seen this window before. First, the users goes from down to pending to initialize to ready to running state. You understand this, right?
Yes,
So now what
yes,
we are doing, we are adding these 5 users to this down state. Okay, we are adding the 5 users to this down state. Okay, wonderful. So for which group? For the first group. Okay, for the first group. Okay, all you just say is apply. Okay, and now you will see that. Okay, successfully added 5 users. Successfully added 5 users. Slowly, it's a web version. It is taking little bit of time. Okay, you see now this one has become 6 or not.
yes,
Are you
sir.
okay,
Yes,
brother?
yes,
Okay, now you can say I wanted to initialize this or go to the run state. I want all the 5 users to go to the run state. You can just say click on OK. Now these 5 users will go to the running state. If you say go to the initialize stage, it will go. It would have went to initialize stage, then the running state. Okay, but we have created a scenario in such a way that every single user will first initialize and go to the running state. So since we have selected and asked it to go to the running state, it went to the running state. Okay, so Shakir, are you okay with it, brother? Now you know how to add the users.
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, super. Okay, now I'll stop this test, guys. So the idea is not to, okay, showcase it. I wanted to explore more, okay, on this test. Okay, but Shakir has asked a question, so I have to divert a little bit. Sorry, I have to divert a little bit as to. But again, that's an interview question, guys. Okay, can you add the users in between? Okay, and there were a lot of questions coming through. So let me see the questions. Sometime due to some connectivity issue, one or two may fail. Wonderful. In that case, we need to add. Wonderful. If we add in that way, we are able to reach the TPH. Yes, Krishna. Users get failed. This we can see in the monitoring tool dashboard. Neetu, you have seen that. Okay, but if not, we can see it. Okay, so I'll show that when we are executing it. Okay, in LRE itself, we can see. Yes, that's true. So there is a lot of chat going on. I've just gone through all the chat. It looks like there is no questions to me on that. Okay, there was only one question. Can we see that failed users in the LRE itself? Yes. Okay, just now I went to the dashboard. Okay, while the test is running, we could see it. So Neetu, it's a very basic question. I'll show it to you again when we run the test. I don't want to run the test just to showcase, where you can see the failed test. Neetu, have you seen it, or you're expecting me to showcase that? Where to see that failed users? Neetu, please unmute yourself. Every time I open that, what do you say? Um, the WhatsApp rather than go to meeting this chat window. Okay, I'm expecting to see. Let me go ahead and quickly run the test. Okay. Uh, Again, it will initialize. Just give it some time, guys. Neetu wants to see where the failed users will be. Okay. That is because the connectivity issues, LG issues, hundreds of issues will be there why the users will go to the failed state. Or how you have written the code in your region also matters. Okay. Let everything show up, guys. It will take a little bit of time so that we can quickly showcase to Neetu where your failed users will be. It is taking a little bit of time. Yeah. All the transactions will be failed. I know that. Okay, because there is some issues with the script. Okay, which we'll fix at the later point of time when we run the actual load test. Okay. Now you see, Neetu, can you see this? All the users which are failed will go here, error will go here, passed will go here. And if you have stopped it or paused it, they will go here. And in the view gen, you can write some code so that they can exit it. If something happens, they will go here. Neetu, can you see here? All of it will go here or here. Okay, depending upon the issues. Then you can go there and you say go back to this, or you can go to this running user and add it from here. So you can do one of the things. Neetu, please unmute yourself. Have I shown it? Is it good? Can you see it? Any more questions over there, Neetu? Wonderful. Okay, let me stop the test again. Okay, so let me go back to my test scenario. Okay, test scenario is mock one. Okay, now Kumar sir, okay, understood the what do you say, schedule, ramp up, steady state, and ramp down. Okay, so this is what is by test is. You have a standard ramp up, steady state, and ramp down. Okay, now by group means what happens? This means by test. By test means what has happened? You have total 8 users, 5 plus 1 plus 1 plus 1, 8 users, or I'll change this to 5. All of them is 5, 5. Okay. All of them is 5, 5 users. Okay. So you just double click on this and you will be able to change it, guys. Okay. So all of them is 5, 5 users. Wonderful. Okay. So now you see 5 plus 5 plus 5 plus 5, overall 20 users. For all the 20 users, there is only one ramp up. And then obviously there is a steady state and a ramp down as well. There is a steady state and a ramp down as well. Okay. Now, Kumar sir, I want a ramp up. for these 5 users separately. I want its own ramp up, steady state, and ramp down. And for these 5 users, I want its own ramp up, steady state, ramp down. And these 5 users, I want its own ramp up, steady state, ramp down. And I want for these 5 users, I want its own ramp up, steady state, ramp down. Is it possible? Is it possible? Is it possible, guys? Is it possible? Every group, each one is a group, right? Each one is a group, right? Every group should have its own ramp up, steady state, and ramp down. Now in this case, by test, you are going with basic by test. All the 20 users, irrespective of which group it is, have its own ramp up, have all of them will have the same ramp up, steady state, ramp down. Okay, so but here you don't have a control on group wise. Okay, so the load runner will decide which user from which group will ramp up. Okay, so so can we have everything for each group? Can we have their own ramp up, steady state, and ramp down? Yes. Okay. Answer is yes. Obviously, I'll show it to you how to do that. Just to change it to basic schedule. Right now it is by test. Change it to by group. Click on OK. Okay. Click on OK. Okay. Now for each group. Okay. For the first group. Okay. I will design the ramp up. Okay. Not simultaneously. Okay. Gradually. Okay. And let's say I want this to run for, okay, oh, initialize, I just initialize whatever is the standard is there. Okay, all users virtual. Okay, all users, simultaneously, but start users, okay, gradually. Okay, one user for 15 seconds, let it be there. Okay, I want this to run for only half an hour. Okay, the first group I wanted to run for only half an hour. Okay, why project needs? Okay, why project needs? And let's say it has its own ramp down, it has its own ramp down. Okay, 10 seconds. Okay, wonderful. Okay, wonderful. Okay, now I have designed the test schedule only for the first group. You see this carefully, only for 5 users. Only for 5 users. For the first group, I have designed the schedule. I can do it for the second group as well. I've selected the second group. Okay. Oh, it says each user just before it runs. So I'll do the same thing for this one. Okay, each user just before it runs. Okay, wonderful. Okay, so now the second group, okay, second group again. Okay, I'm designing it's my own ramp up. Okay, duration, I'll say I wanted to run this for 1 hour. Okay, this group, why? The project needs, there could be some project needs wherein the first group I wanted to run for half an hour, the second group I wanted to run for only sorry, second group I want to run for 1 hour completely. Okay, 1 hour completely. Okay, save the test. Now you see there are two groups. Okay, they could be overlapping. No, are they overlapped? Okay, now you can look at the schedule for both the groups. Okay, the first group is for half an hour. The first group is for half an hour. You can see this. Okay, and now the test schedule for the second group is for 1 hour. The second group is for 1 hour. Can you see this, guys? Can you see this, all of you? And you can see for which group you're looking at the schedule. It is clearly showing up here as well. Okay, clearly showing up here as well. Okay. Now the third group also I can create its own ramp up, steady state, and ramp down. Okay. Okay, and for this group, I'll say start after half an hour. Okay, start after half an hour. Okay, start after half an hour. then then you run for maybe 5 minutes or half an hour. I'm okay with that. Okay, and then stop. Okay, stop gradually for every whatever is the standard ramp up. Okay, now you see this particular group. Okay, you are not starting as soon as the test starts. You are starting after 30 minutes of the test starts. After 30 minutes of the test starts, then you have a standard ramp up, standard ramp down, and the steady state. You see the timeline. This is starting after 30 minutes of the test. In the first 30 minutes, this test will run, this scenario will run, and the second 30 minutes, this will run. Okay, this will run. You understand why I've done this, right? Booking flight, first 30 minutes, all the booking flights will happen. Then the next 30 minutes, whatever the flights has been booked, you are canceling it. Does it make sense, guys, whatever I'm doing? First half an hour I've done all the bookings, the next half an hour I'm doing all the canceling. Okay, this is what is the requirement, and registrations could happen for the 1 hour completely. Okay, so it is happening for 1 hour, and I don't want, this is a duplicate one, and I don't even want this scenario to run. So I can disable this. Okay, I'll just go ahead and disable this. Okay, this is a duplicate deactivated. Okay, so this is a duplicate script. Okay, this is not okay, I wanted to duplicate, I wanted to deactivate only this. So this is a duplicate script, right? Booking flight 2 times is there, I've deactivated it. Okay, so you see, for the first half an hour, okay, for the first half an hour, this will run for only half an hour, and only bookings are happening. And the next half an hour, only cancelings are happening. Okay, this is happening for the next half an hour. Okay, so only cancelings are happening. This kind of requirement may be there in your organization. That is the reason why people usually go with groups. Okay, only after the booking is happening, then you can cancel it. So that is the reason why I have designed it in such a way that the first half an hour bookings are happening, and the second half an hour the cancelings are happening. Now you understand why some people go with the group mode, but not with the test mode. Okay, it depends totally on your mindset, guys. It depends totally on your mindset. Okay, you see, let me change this to number of users a little bit, change it. Okay, because if everything is 5 users, you are not able to distinguish clearly. Okay, some of them is 8. Okay, and then let's say canceling flight, I have 4. Let's say I have 4 users. Okay, okay, now you will be able to see, this is my first group where the test runs for half an hour, and during the 1 hour complete continuously registrations are happening. And this is my second script where the booking flights are happening. You are running with 5 users, and this is happening for the first half an hour, and the second half an hour canceling happening, and this is happening with 4 users. So this is what is by group. Everybody understood why some people go with the group mode? It depends upon what kind of scripts is there, how you have designed your scenario. Have you assumed that, okay, before running the canceling flight, I have to have some booking flights? So you, that is how you have created your scenario or your script. Then this kind of test scenario creation is required. Or you have created the canceling flight in such a way that, okay, respect to, you have some booking flights already from, you have done some, what is that word called, test data creation. You have already done a test data creation, and you have already had some flights booked before you run the test, and you have fed that booking flight data into the script. Then you need not have to design it in this way. Okay, you can design this test scenario in this way, so that whatever the booking flights happened here, you making use of them, and then these cancelings are happening. Okay, programmatically it is searching for already the booking flights, and then it is canceling them. And you want some booking flights to happen before this script gets triggered, then you might have to design it. And the load runner has given this kind of opportunity or option. You need not have to use it. Okay, in my case, what I do is canceling flight, I'll run some test data creation scripts, and some book flights has to happen, and then take all the data and feed it into the script, and then I'll go ahead and run the test, my 1 hour test. Okay, so that there is no dependency of this script on this. So that's how I usually do it. But if some people are wanted to do it this way, then you will have to design the scenario in this way. There is a dependency of this script on this particular script. Are you clear, all of you guys? But LoadRunner has given the option, however you wanted to use it, you can use it. Okay, is it clear, guys, why there is an option called group? Because in the interview they will ask you, have you ever used by group? Okay, only Roy, Sinu, Shakir, Madhuri is saying yes. Others, I don't know whether they are listening, not listening, lazy to type that single letter yes. I don't know, guys. I'm I'm trying my level best so that everybody understands. Okay, but at the same time, I want everybody to answer it, guys. Please. Okay, I derive only the energy from this. I don't even know whether you are listening or not. That is my problem. I don't want it to trouble you to go to the keyboard and click yes. But if nobody is listening and 2 to 3 people are listening, then I don't get that energy. Okay. Yeah. Thank you, guys. Okay. So I've also show you why somebody has to design it in this way. Okay, in a by group way. Okay, wonderful. Okay, wonderful, Kumar sir. You have explained basic schedule by test and basic schedule by group. Okay, but in my company, my manager said, okay, I know we are running over the time. Give me 10 more minutes and we will close. Okay, so okay, in my company, my manager said or my client said, okay, first run the test with 100 users, run it for half an hour, then increase the number of users by 50 more users, then you run it for half an hour and increase by 50 more users, run it for half an hour. Okay, then you have a ramp down, okay. My client wanted to do this test, sir. Is it possible in the load runner? Okay, is it possible in the load runner? Now you tell me, guys, is this possible in the load runner? The client can say this, certainly yes. Okay, they'll say 100 is your peak load, run it with 100 folks. That's what the client is saying. 100 is your peak load, run it with 100 users. Then then I wanted to see for every 50 users how the performance is deteriorating. For every 50 users, how the performance is deteriorating. Unless you run for 1 hour, you will not be able to capture the results. Okay, I said half an hour, let's say 1 hour. Okay, unless you run for 1 hour at least, you would not know the performance of that particular application. So you ramped it to 100 users, you run it for 1 hour and you capture the results. Then you ramped it by 50 more users because your client want to see for every 50 users how the performance is deteriorating. So you ramped up by 50 more users and you run it for 1 more hour so that you capture the response times during this 1 hour. Then you run it, then you ramped up for 50 more users, then you captured the response times for 1 hour. This way you can compare the results of this users, this response times with this response times with this response times. You can do that. Okay, so you want your client has wanted to run this. Either if you're going with by schedule, you're going with by schedule, sorry, you're going with the basic schedule, what you have to do, you have to run three tests. What you will do, you ramp up by you ramp up by 100 users, you ramp up by 100 users, run for 1 hour, and there is in the basic schedule there is no more ramp up. Okay, then you have to ramp down. Okay, this is with 100 users, you do this with 100 users. Okay, this I'm talking with the basic schedule, guys. Okay, then you have to design one more test, then you have to design one more basic schedule, you have to run one more test. Okay, again you ramp up to 150 users, you run for your 1 hour where you capture the results, and then you ramp down. This is with your 150 users, this is with your 150 users, this is with your 150 users. Okay, this is with your 150 users. Now the third test is with 200, right? So you have to run one more test, one more basic schedule test. Okay, this time it should be with 200 users because it is 100 150, the second test is 150, third is 200. Okay, so you have to run it with 200 users. Okay, 200 means like something like this, and you run for your 1 hour and then you have a ramp down. Okay, so totally this is with your 200 users, this is with your 200 users. Okay, now totally if you are dependent only on the basic schedule, you're depending on only on the basic schedule. Okay, then CHEDULA. Okay, then you have to run the first test with 100, second test with 150, third test with 200, and compare the results, and you tell the client that how the performance is deteriorating for every 50 users. But if the load runner has given something like this, then in one test itself you will be able to do it. But this test might run for 3 hours or 4 hours, I don't care, but you design once and you run the test and you leave peacefully, you come back next day and then you compare the results. This is much more simpler than running three different tests. Okay, is this possible with load runner, guys? Can somebody tell me, is this possible with load runner? Again I tell you what is the reason why you have to do this. Okay, so now tell me, is it possible this with load runner? Okay, whether initial 100 users after 1 hour, no, they will not be idle. Once the user is running, they will be continuously running the test. If the users are idle, it's as good as running the 50 users test. If these users are idle after this 1 hour, then this only 50 users are active, which means that you have run the test with 50 users, not 150 users. That what your client is saying, I want to capture the response times with the 100 users. This is my peak load, and after that you keep increasing the users by 50, 50, and then capture the response times, which means that the next test should be with 150. Once the users are increased by 50, I wanted to see how the performance deteriorates, which means that it has to run with 150, and that's exactly what LoadRunner will do. So Raghu, am I clear?
Yes, sir. Like then the runtime will be of 3 hours, right?
Yeah, runtime will be of 3 hours. Let it be there. Then you filter the results for this 1 hour and this 1 hour and this 1 hour and compare and send it to the client.
Yeah, sure. Got it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this possible? Yes, with LoadRunner it is possible. Go with the real world schedule. And I've already told you the difference between by group and by test. I'll explain only right now by test. Okay. Now how many users I have? 17 users. Okay. So let me activate this as well. Okay. So let me say this one as okay. Okay, total now how many? 18 users. Okay, I wanted to run the test. Okay, 18 users, superb. Okay, now I'll show you how to design the multiple ramp ups and multiple ramp downs. Here there is only one ramp down, but you can have a multiple ramp downs as well. Okay, but I'll show you how to design the multiple ramp up. Okay, so here duration. I don't want all the 18 users to start simultaneously. I want only 5 users to start gradually. Okay, then run for 5 minutes. I'm not saying run for 1 hour. This is just this thing. Okay, then after this I wanted to add another action, and I want to start the users. Okay, you see I have a start. Okay, I'm starting with how many users? 5 users. Okay, ramp up is done. Then I'm running with for 5 minutes. Let's say this is 10 minutes. I'm running it for 10 minutes. Okay, I'm running it for 10 minutes. This is done, and after that I want one more ramp up. What I want one more ramp up. So after this, add an action. Okay, and what I want? Start users. After that, I want start users. I want 5 more users to start, not simultaneously, gradually. Then then I don't want it to stop. Then I don't want it to stop. Okay, these are my 5 users started. Okay, after this starting these 5 users, what is there? Steady state. So I want to add one more action called duration. And how many minutes I wanted to run? Let's say I wanted to run 10 more minutes. I wanted to run 10 more minutes. Come on, 10 more minutes. 10 more minutes. Okay, then okay, then this ramp up is done, steady state is done, ramp up is done, steady state is done. Then I want one more ramp up and steady state, which I will add. Okay, so add one more action of start users. Okay, then whatever the remaining users are there. So I've added 5 users and 5 users. Then I add 5 more users. Okay, then gradually. Okay, and then one users for every 15 seconds. Oh, we have messed up something, guys. Okay, so I have an initialization start duration start. I want this duration to be up. Okay, so I have added this action. Okay, let me see if I can delete this. Yes, I can delete this. Okay, let me delete it. So you see, first I have initialization start. Something is messed up, guys. Just give me one moment. Okay. Okay, first I have a start of 5 users. After this I want a duration of 10 minutes. Okay, 1 hour you can do it, but here just a sample one I'm giving 10 minutes. Okay, after the duration I want a start which is already there. After the start I want a duration which is already there. Then after this duration I want one more start. Okay, one more start. Let me add start users. Okay, so this one also I'll say 5 users. Okay, then gradually run for this one user for every seconds. After this I wanted to add one more duration. Okay, and this duration, let's say it is for 10 minutes. Okay, and then you want a stop. Okay, you can add multiple stops, but I'm adding only one stop. Okay, so I want all of them gradually stop. Okay, for every 10 seconds. Wonderful. Okay, now you see, pay attention to these guys. Okay, can I magnify this? Hang on. Okay, looks like I cannot just zoom in on this one. Okay, now you see I have a steady state. sorry, I have a ramp up, steady state, ramp up, steady state, ramp up, steady state, and a ramp down. This is exactly what I have designed. Okay, but you can have a multiple ramp downs as well, however you want. Okay, sorry, you can have a multiple ramp downs as well. Okay, steady state and then another ramp down. Okay, you can have something like this as well, not an issue. It depends upon how you wanted to, how you wanted to design the scenario. Okay, here you keep adding the actions depending upon, you click on this action will be enabled. Depending upon what you need, you can add that kind of action, you can have that kind of action. So it will ramp up 5 users. Now you designed only 5 users, you see. So 5 users at the first start, 5 users at the second start, and 5 users at the third start. So that's why it automatically took 15 users. So here you can okay, you can change this so that the total number of users will be changed, the total number of users will be changed. You want the total number of users to be changed. Okay, you see this is not being enabled, this you cannot enable this. You see if I click on this, nothing is happening. You can add the users over here. Accordingly the total number of users will change. Okay, you can add the number of users here at the start. So accordingly the total number of users will be changed, added. Okay, any questions guys, any questions so far here? And similarly you can do this by group as well. Each group can have multiple ramp ups, multiple steady states, and multiple ramp downs. Okay, any questions guys, any questions? Okay, if we have 3 hours test with each 1 hour 50 users adding, then we can filter those results with 100, 200, and 300 users. So Manoj, I didn't understood that logic. Okay, so uh, if you have, if you have 100, if you have, Manoj, you please unmute yourself, otherwise I will be speaking to the computer. So let's say you ramp up with 100 and you have a steady state. You filter this result so that for you will have it for 100 users. You ramp only 50 users and run it for 1 hour. Then you filter these results so that you have it for 150 users. These results are for 150 users, not for 200. And you ramp it for 50 more users. Then you filter this for 1 hour, you will have for 200 users. You want this to be for 200 users, then you ramp up by 100 more users, not 50 more users. You ramp up by 100 more users, then you filter this steady state so that you will have it for 200. But right now you are ramping up only 50, so these results are for 150, this result is for 200. But had you ramped it for 100, you hand it by 100 and 100, these results will be for 200, this result is for 300. So Manoj, have I answered that question?
Yes, sir. How can we filter in the results after the load test? That's what.
Filtering is very simple, brother.
Yeah,
I'll
using
I'll
analysis.
see, I'll see if any analysis files is there with me. Okay, so wonderful. Again, when I laugh, don't think that I'm laughing at you. Okay, so don't assume that. Go ahead and ask any question. That's not my intention. The reason why I laughed is totally we are deviating. Okay, and I'll have to deviate and completely go somewhere else. Okay, so that will be little disturbing to certain people, and that is the reason why. Okay, but please don't think that I'm mocking you or something. You came to the class, you take the complete out of the class. That is my only intention. Okay, 1 second, I'll see if there are any tests which are there. Okay, uh, uh, so that I'll show you how to filtering. Okay, advanced any filter, do you see any analysis files here guys? Hang on guys, let me see some analysis files. Advanced analysis, these are videos. Okay, batches. Okay, maybe some analysis file is there somewhere here. Okay, I don't know what is this analysis file. This is back in 2009. Oh, this cannot be that old. Okay, probably this is done 2 to 3 years back, guys. So I don't even know what is this analysis file. But to the Manoj, I wanted to show you how to filter it out. Okay, so I'm showing this. Manoj, are you watching this?
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let me see. What is this? Something is there here. Okay, just hang on. Okay, Now you see I wanted to filter only from here to here. Okay, what is this? 5 minutes 20 seconds to 10 minutes 8 seconds. So I'll say 5 to 10 sec 5 minutes to 10 minutes I wanted to filter. Okay, so you can have, I am applying a global filter, you can apply temporary filter as well. So I'm applying a global filter. And what is the you want to apply the global filter on elapsed scenario time. Okay, you see scenario time, elapsed scenario time, from where you wanted to apply, from 5 minutes to, from 5 minutes to 10 minutes, so that I'll be able to see the response times only for this particular time. Okay, so you can just go here and just say 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Okay, and then you say apply. This is the global filter, which means that whatever you're filtering out, all the graphs will be filtered out for 5 minutes to 10 minutes, not just this graph, not just this graph, every single graph here. Okay, transaction summary, response time, summary report, transaction summary, response times, every single graph will be filtered out for this 5 seconds. Manoj, you understood? Now you see the graph is from 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Is this only for this graph? No. Every single thing, the summary report, everything will be the throughput report 5 to 10. Every single thing that you see, the transaction response times is from 5 minutes to 10. Okay. Every single thing, this is in the percentile mode. That's why you see that. Okay. But transaction response times, you see 5 minutes to 10 minutes. Every single graph over here is been filtered out for what? 5 minutes to 10 minutes, because you have applied global filters. You have applied global filters not only on the response times, you can filter it on the transaction name, transaction response time. So many things are there. Okay, so if you come to our LoadRunner classes, all this will be explained in detail, but at least you understood what is filtering. Okay, Manoj, I have shown
Yes.
you how to do that.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay, you can certainly filter it out. That's not a big deal. Okay, the load runner, you pay 50 lakhs 60 lakhs not for fun. Okay, they will give you all the options. Okay, is this possible to with the Jmeter results also? Jmeter results, you have to go to the raw. I have done it once, but how I done is I went to the raw files, which is the JMX file was, I don't know, it has been done very long time. I went to the raw results file, opened in an Excel sheet raw results file, and deleted everything else and put the results that I wanted, then imported it into the Jmeter CSV file. That's correct, Raghu. So imported it back to the Jmeter. Okay, you can import the things. Okay, and then created a dashboard report. Then it has done it only for that. But for that, it's something got messed out. Then I had to go to the Jmeter properties file and change that time to global time to some local time. I've done some changes. I can't remember, but this is something I've done long time back. But manually, you have to do it. Go to the CSV file, delete or copy only the timestamp for which you want it, the time window for which you want it, delete all the other things. Then you save it, import it back to the JMeter, which is possible, and create the HTML dashboard with report that, and I was able to do it. Okay, but it errored out because of some property setting file in the Jmeter properties. Okay, then I had to go there and change it. But again, I'm not a Jmeter expert. Occasionally I've taken 2 to 3 projects and done it based on the need basis. I'll just quickly learn whatever is required and do it, guys. Okay, but is it possible, Ajay? Yes, it is possible. The Jmeter itself has given those opportunities. No, it is not click of a button. Here you just clicked on one button and it was able to do it. Okay, we just clicked on one button, it is able to do it. There you go to the raw results file, delete all that, and you have to do it manually. Do it to it manually. Okay, so guys, have you enjoyed the class today? Do you think you have learned something that you didn't know? That is the only purpose. Otherwise, I wouldn't get that motivation. Did you learn something that you didn't know? You're getting the overall idea as to how this load runner works, how this performance testing is, what you have to do. Okay, I'm trying to explore all the options that we have on this particular LRE, guys. Okay, people get confused once they hear this LRE, oh my god, and all that. The only thing is this LRE, Access is not there for a lot of people. It is not a rocket science. Most of the trainers can easily do it, but a lot of people don't have access to this. That is the reason why a lot of people are not able to do it. Okay, so it's not a magic. It's very simple. Okay, thank you guys. See you tomorrow at the same time, 7:30. Let's not skip the classes. Tomorrow is will be wonderful session. We'll go ahead and execute the test tomorrow. Okay, don't miss out. And people who have missed out, okay, watch the video. Okay, thank you.